Anyway, so Mongoose. I just installed Mongoose. And how do we use Mongoose to connect to the database? So Mongoose has its own mongoosejs.com. It has its own website, and it's very well documented. I encourage you to go through their documentation. We're only going to use the tippy top, right, of the most common things that you would do with Mongoose. But there's plenty of stuff here that is very, very cool. And again, I encourage you to take a look at it. One of the things that we need to do is first load the library. Okay, the way we load the library is in Node.js. It's very common, just like you would in any other language. In Java, you do imports. Yes, in C or C# you do includes. In Node.js, you do requires. Right? And the require, you name the library that you want, and it starts looking for the library inside of your project. See where it finds it. Yes. If your Mongoose, if your library doesn't start with a /, right? If it starts with a dot, you are literally telling it to start looking in my current directory and then start looking to see if it finds it. Yes. If you don't say, by default, it will look in this new directory that wasn't there before. Right? See that directory, node_modules, was not there before, right? It appeared when we did the npm install. Right? When we said npm install Mongoose, it downloaded Mongoose plus any other libraries that Mongoose depends on. Okay, it installed it and it put it inside of node_modules. There's actually quite a few things that Mongoose depends on. Here's our Mongoose. Notice in gray, that's the one we installed. But Mongoose depends on a whole bunch of other things. Yes? And it downloaded them and it copied them here. Right? In particular, it downloaded MongoDB. See that? MongoDB is the official MongoDB library that is made available by the MongoDB folks, right? That they create the product. Yes, and just Mongoose creates an abstraction layer on top of that, right, to make life a little bit easier for us. So MongoDB is like JDBC, right, which is very low level, right, and then Mongoose is like JPA. Right? It creates a level of abstraction so you can think about the database in a much higher level. Make sense? Right? And it deals with all the low-level stuff for you. Okay? And it downloaded a whole bunch of other things. One thing that we forgot, if we look at the package JSON, actually no, it worked. Notice that it added a section here that I didn't add before. When I first init the project, I never declared this dependency. But by doing the npm install Mongoose, right, it declared Mongoose as a dependency to my project. See that? So if anybody, if my module, if I publish it in npm and it becomes very, very famous, and folks start downloading my very famous package, and they do an npm install, Jose's great package, yes, it'll download me, obviously, plus Mongoose, plus anything that Mongoose depends. Make sense? So this package JSON creates all the dependencies so that anybody can install my package and load all the other dependencies. Everybody okay? All right. Excellent. So we have Mongoose installed. And let's have the server. Here's the server. So okay, so this loads the library and it gives me a reference to whatever this returns, whatever that returns. It makes it available here at this variable, or this constant, sorry. Once I have the constant, I can, in this case, it's an object, so this guy can return a whole bunch of things, right? Right now, it's just returning an object. That object has an API, right? And one of the things that I can do with Mongoose is connect to the database. I can connect to the database, right? I can say MongoDB : localhost 27,017. That's the default location. Or if I have my database hosted on MLab or on Heroku, or if it's hosted anywhere else in the world, half away the world, and you know the IP address, right? You can type in here the IP address, of where your Mongo is connected somewhere in East Asia or something. I don't know. And then you're connected to that remote database. Everybody good? Also here we have the name of the database that we're connecting to. In our case, it's whiteboard. Right? And this is some optional configuration that we don't need. Once we have that, we're good. We can start connecting to the database. Mongoose Connect. We're connected to the database right there and then. We're connected. We can start interacting with the database. Everybody okay? All right. So I'm going to run it, see if it blows up. Node server. It connected. Okay, looks like it didn't explode. So it did connect to the Mongo client. All right, so it looks like it's connecting.